Welcome to County News 802. Two towns with two schools just a few miles away from each other. But the separation is much more. Sudbury and Whiting school board members and school leaders recently scrapped a plan to combine the 5th and 6th grades. The decision came after much public outcry to stop the move. But school leaders say not merging students could put both schools in danger. Local control was at work May 14th when Sudbury and Whiting teachers, administrators, and parents came together to discuss an innovative plan for commingling students.
Two contracts, two schools. Obviously, the kids and the teachers can't meet in two places at once. They'd be in one or the other school. I would recommend that to be Sudbury School. And so that's why we would be asking under this model to have that classroom be located there, which is two contracts, one teacher, two schools, two towns.
But the idea was ill-perceived, and by the end of the night, tossed off the table by the school board.
We have an issue, we've had an issue, we've had a problem, we've worked through it. But I really don't want a Band-Aid situation. I really don't want to be in the same situation year after year. And I know that any minute, and we've known this since my child was in kindergarten, that any moment the state could change everything and everything could explode on us. And that's what we've been dealing with. And we decided as a community that we were going to go until we're ready to make that big giant decision on what we're going to do as far as merging, building a new building, and we were going to go the way it's been going. And I think we really need to make, my personal opinion is make that work, figure out a way that's best interest for the kids. I'm really worried about the stability of breaking these families with multiple kids.
Principal Ed Barnwell runs both Sudbury and Whiting schools, with total school populations of 25 and 33 students in grades K through 6, and classes are multi-age. He took credit for creating a plan that would save both schools money on one teacher. The Whiting school, following a resignation, would not hire a third teacher for grades 4, 5, and 6, and instead share students and the cost of one teacher for 5th and 6th grade. Whiting 5th and 6th graders would then be bused to Sudbury to learn, and both schools would pay half one teacher's salary.
We don't have any space here besides classrooms. And it's, to me, the most striking difference between the schools. We have great teachers at both schools. We have great kids. We have great support staff. We have great families and parent support. Great school boards to work with. You come here and it's different because, I mean, I kid myself because I'm new here. This year is my first year and I've been in Sudbury. This is my 3rd year. They think it's normal here to have lunch served in the hallway and eat it in their classrooms. And they think it's normal to have gym class in the classroom. And they think it's normal to have nowhere else to go to work academically except the preschool classroom. And I can tell you, I tried to do the science ECAP test down in the preschool room yesterday. About 10 minutes in, the toys are out, the kids are playing with stuffed animals, and I'm trying to get them to focus on science and ECAP.
Barnwell said it was a good faith move at local consolidation, an effort to save the life of both small schools before the state decides to implement mandatory consolidation and the possible closure of tiny education centers.
Both communities save between $20,000 and $30,000.
In the long run?
No, next year, in 1 year. Neither town makes money, neither town, ends up getting the lion's share of the savings is roughly split between the two communities. So here we have a chance to restructure with fewer staff to create a better program at less cost, and it's my responsibility to advocate for that.
But the public had a different take. One Whiting parent didn't want her child to lose the specialized services and stability of being in the Whiting school. Other parents questioned why Sudbury wouldn't get full tuition payments to educate Whiting students inside its walls. And others said there's a strong push to consolidate anyway, and the local districts should take the lead.
I see this as a win-win, not as I'm not getting enough. It's a win-win, and let's be thankful for that as a solution. We're not looking for Montpelier. We're not looking at the Vermont statutes. Let's be creative. Let's devise our own way of doing this. And I think that's what the legislature was hopefully looking at when they're looking at a consolidation. They were looking at towns being creative, coming up with their own ideas.
Ed Barnwell said in a phone interview after the meeting that not moving forward with the plan puts the schools in a more vulnerable place, quote, because it looks like we are not making a good faith effort to provide a good education at a reasonable cost when we have the chance to.
The overall goal is to take 282 school districts down to perhaps maybe 50 or 55 school districts. I think, as you know, there are states much larger than Vermont that have one school district. But I think, and it's not really immediately trying to close small schools or do away with local control. Their spending and taxpayer issues are certainly evolved around Act 60, Act 68, and I think there's a point in time when those issues need to be addressed.
And in Rutland, government officials gathered around Vermont Governor Peter Shumlin today as he signed a bill that would provide kids universal access to pre-kindergarten education, what he said was just the right thing to do for Vermont's future.
It makes me extremely proud as Vermont's governor to be signing into law today a bill that is going to make sure that those two beautiful Vermont kids and so many more get a strong start. And we all know that all the research tells all logical people that if you invest early, if you ensure that every student has access to pre-K, that they have stronger, better futures. And that's really what Vermont's all about.
Shumlin signed Vermont H-270, a law that gives any Vermont child aged 3 to 5 access to 10 hours a week of high-quality, publicly funded pre-K education. Parents can enroll their kids in any school or private provider with available space. School pre-K programs would get reimbursed for the cost to educate the additional children, but there would be more of a toll on the statewide education funding system. Despite the added cost, the bill's main sponsor, Representative Sarah Buxton of Tunbridge, said brain science shows pre-K is necessary for healthy, better educated Vermonters.
But mainly I just want to underscore the importance of this bill in making Vermont attractive for young working families in Vermont. Over 70% of households with children under the age of 6 have all the adults working in their household, and this is our current economic reality. We owe it to the children, to the parents, to the employers, to the schools, to the children's future employers, to give them access to early learning, high quality early learning opportunities when science tells us that it matters the most. If we're to graduate Vermont students from Vermont high schools with the best education that we can afford, the investment we should be making right now are in programs like this, in high quality early learning opportunities. That is the silver bullet.
Why it's so important is pretty simple. We know that when we fail, when we don't make wise investments early, we pay more later on. So it costs taxpayer dollars to do the wrong thing and not give every child a strong start. What do we mean by that? We know that all the research suggests that the development in the brain, 90% of it happens by the time kids are 5 or 6 years old. So by getting there when they're 3 or 4 or earlier makes a huge difference.
Tune in to County News 802 Monday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on your public access Comcast station, Channel 21. Online, catch County News 802 directly, live streaming Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Videos are also available on pegtv.com's on-demand feature.